Hello and welcome to Guides.Global. My name's John Howell and I'm the editor and founder of Guides.Global, and with me today I have Noelia, who is an advisor here at Manzanares International, a law firm based in Marbella on the Costa del Sol in Spain. We're going to be talking very briefly about the issues arising out of doing business here on the Costa del Sol. Noelia, welcome.
Thank you.
You have written our guide to doing business on the Costa del Sol, so obviously we would like the viewers to look and read that. And you've been working here at Manzanares for 12 years, serving the needs of hundreds of foreign clients.
That's correct.
And Manzanares is a firm that specialises really in dealing with foreign people here in Spain. So this video is about people who are doing business here, not necessarily based here, but who may be still based in the United States or Germany or England, and they have business relationships here on the Costa del Sol. And I just want to talk very briefly about one or two of the things that can cause them particular difficulties. What would you say is the most common problem that foreign businesses have when they're dealing with people here on the Costa del Sol?
The most common problem is that they come with a foreign mentality, and they need to adapt. They need to realize that they are in a different culture and a very different way of doing things from an administrative point of view. So this is the main thing they need to understand, because most of them try to do exactly what they do at home. They try to do that here exactly the same way. They even ask us for the same format for accountancy, which is completely impossible. So
it's that old saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans, when in Spain, do as the Spanish.
Exactly.
And of course, the Spanish ways of doing things are very often very different from what you're used to in your own country, but generally they're different rather than better or worse.
Exactly.
There is, unfortunately, with some people, an assumption that what happens out of your own country is always worse than what happens in your own country, and that's simply not true. Some of the things that happen here are just better.
It's simply that they don't understand and they are not used to it, so they expect something different, and that's the worst thing, to have expectations when you should be trying to adapt and learn the new things.
And you have to learn, as the person doing business here, you cannot fight 50 million Spanish. You're going to lose. So you might as well learn to adapt. Okay, I think that's absolutely right. That's a really common problem I've come across as well. What about the physical problem of communicating? Because here in Spain, you operate different business hours, don't you? Some companies operate what you call the classic day. At what time would the classic day be?
With a long break.
With a long lunch break, exactly. So from what, 8:30 in the morning till
9 till 2, and then 4 or 5 till 7, 8.
And then other companies operate the intensive day, which is perhaps 9 till 6 or 9 till 6, something
more
like
European,
that. More European times. And of course, if you're dealing with a business customer which is operating the normal day, and you're in a place that's a long way away, so your time zone is different anyway, and you have another customer who's operating the intensive day, you can find there's maybe only half an hour in the entire day when all three of you are going to be available.
Correct.
So this is, I think, another practical thing we have to get used to.
That's correct.
From a legal point of view, you will be involved in contracts if you're doing business here in the Costa del Sol. Do you have any practical advice for preparing contracts?
Just get the proper legal advice.
Yes.
Because that's also another mistake you can do. Sometimes you will need to do a contract which is as you do at home, because depending on the area, depending on what you need the contract for. But some other times you need to know the local laws, the local practice. And it's difficult for a foreigner to have all this knowledge. And also the documents must always be drafted in Spanish, or at least a double column
Spanish and your own language, English, French, whatever it might be. There's an issue here, isn't there? Because Spanish law gives people the freedom to choose the law that will bind their contract. So you could, for example, if you were based in Canada, say that my contracts with my business colleagues in Spain will all be subject to Canadian law rather than Spanish law.
Yes.
But there's a problem with that.
Then if you need to enforce that document here in Spain, you will really want the document to comply with the regulations here. Otherwise, it's very difficult. It's very left to interpretation.
And so, by and large, if the service is being provided in Spain, it makes sense to use a Spanish contract, because if the service isn't delivered, you're going to need to enforce it here in Spain.
Yes.
Whereas perhaps if you are supplying the service to a company in Spain, it might be sensible to use in this case, Canadian contract, because if you don't deliver the service, that means it will all get sorted out in Canada.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Noelia, very interesting. Thank you for that. We hope you found that useful. It's only a short introduction to the subject. For much more information, see our full written guide. If you've liked it, of course, please like this video or follow us on YouTube. And if you want to contact Noelia or her team, you can do so at the link that's in the information box on this video. Thank you for viewing, and we look forward to seeing you again. Goodbye.